Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415, DirectTV 348, Sling, Roku, and AppleTV.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your
Listen to Anand Giriharadas, okay? It's not an easy name to say, but, I learned it because what he's saying here is really important.
I think this is a wake-up moment for the American power establishment. From Michael Bloomberg to those of us in the media, to the Democratic Party, to donors, to CEOs, many in this establishment are behaving, in my view, as they face the prospect of a Bernie Sanders nomination, like out-of-touch aristocrats in a dying aristocracy. Just sort of, how do we stop this? How do we block this? And there is no curiosity. Why is this happening? What is going on in the lives of my fellow citizens in this country? They may be voting for something that I find it so hard to understand. What is happening? What is happening? This is a moment for curiosity in America. I think about this network, which I love, which you love, and I think we have to look within also. Why is a lobbyist for Uber and Mark Zuckerberg on the air many nights explaining a political revolution to us? Why is Chris Matthews on this air talking about the victory of Bernie Sanders, who had kin murdered in the Holocaust, and analogizing it to the Nazi conquest of France? The people who are stuck in an old way of thinking, in 20th century frameworks, in gulag thinking, are missing what is going on. It is time for all of us to step up, rethink, and understand the dawn of what may be, frankly, a new era in American life.
Oh! Exactly. And what have I been saying since 2001? For those of you who know the answer to that, let me tell the people who don't. I want to live in the 21st century. I want to live in the 21st century. We have never stuck a toe in the 21st century. Donald Trump ran on an anti-establishment message that there was, a cabal that was working against the people. Well, he was right. There is, but it's called money. It's not called the deep state. It's not the intelligence operators. It's not the intelligence gatherers or analysts. It's not the generals who take orders from the commander in chief. It is a cabal of money. It is ever since 2010, seriously, Citizens United, that everything was for sale, including legislation, including members of the House, members of the Senate, and now the presidency itself. And people responded to the anti-establishment message because they knew something was working against them. Donald Trump convinced them that everybody was working against them except for him. That was a lie. What's working against working people is big, giant corporate interests who get socialism delivered to them daily. The return on their investment for buying a House member, for buying a senator, for buying a president is exponential, okay? Maybe they lobby $1 or $2 million a year they spend. They get back billions on the front end in subsidies and on the back end in tax loopholes. So we're the ones left paying, and our money all goes to the Treasury, and then it gets redistributed to the very wealthy. It gets redistributed to the people who could spend $1 million, $2 million lobbying members. And what do they do to lobby them? They have fundraisers for them. Before 9 o'clock in the morning, there are breakfast fundraisers, usually at Charlie Palmer's. Yeah, in Washington, D.C. Then there are lunch fundraisers. Then there are dinner fundraisers. Oh, but wait, before dinner, there are cocktail parties, fundraisers. And these lobbyists put people together to give money to the Congress members. That is what a lobbyist does. They go out and they find people who are interested in the subject of the legislation to come to the breakfast and to give money to this candidate or that candidate who will protect their interests when the vote comes up. And they do it every day, every single day. And that's what we're up against. It's not a deep state. Radical change means getting the money out. Radical change means passing what the House passed, H.R. 1. H.R. 1 was for clean democracy. H.R. 1 was for no more dark money. We have to move to public financing of elections. We have to move to stop all this spending that we do on tax breaks. We financed Donald Trump's $2 trillion transfer of wealth. He did it by deficit spending, and we have to pay for it. So we're paying for tax loopholes because those people were going to trickle it down to us. Well, that didn't happen. Coal mining, bankrupt. The Murray Company, coal miners, bankrupt. Walmart, they're in the process of firing 7,700 people. These are some of the most subsidized companies in the history of the universe. And then they have tax loopholes on the back end. You know, you got Google that doesn't pay any taxes here in the United States. And they got a housing crisis out there in California. Google owes $24 billion in a normal tax system, but they don't pay anything. It would take $14 billion, $10 billion less than what they owe, to build 20,000 new housing units. See what I mean? That's one company. Could make such a difference by taxing them properly, not letting them avoid $24 billion. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. It's so crazy. So Bernie's got that populist message that Donald Trump tried to have, but Donald Trump was lying and Bernie isn't. The same could be said of Elizabeth Warren, by the way. She is a true progressive. Elizabeth Warren was a Harvard law professor. She taught contract law. She made her bones by writing a book way, way before the housing debacle, telling us the housing debacle would happen. Showing you that nobody reads the agreements that they sign, that a credit card agreement used to be 7 pages. Now it's over 30 pages. It's like those pharmaceutical inserts in the package with your pills. No one can read them. And even if you did, it doesn't make any sense to any lawyer who ever took the time to read it. Nobody is sure what the credit card company's deal with you is. Nobody's sure what the deal with the banks and you is. She is brilliant. She tried to set up a consumer protection bureau. She did set it up. She created, you talk about somebody not knowing government. Are you freaking kidding me? This woman literally created an agency to protect the people. The Senate wouldn't confirm her to head the agency that she built. I think she knows how to build agencies and run them, and then get rid of the agencies that we don't need and redistribute the money to where we do need. You look at the way these candidates run their campaigns, and you have a very clear idea of their executive prowess. Donald Trump ran it with 4 people and Russians. Bernie and Elizabeth run it with grassroots people, knocking on doors, doing it the old-fashioned way, and they create coalitions, and they register new voters. And you got people in the aristocracy telling me, oh, that's insane. There's something wrong with you for that. Bite me. Hey, everybody. This is a clip from the latest episode of The Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415, DirectTV 348, Sling, Roku, and AppleTV.